Hey Christy, are you busy?
Kinda. I'm at work right now, but it's not too hectic. What's up?
I've been going through the cabinets and I can't find the milk.
The milk? I don't think your milk is in your cabinets. You use liquid milk, so the bottles must be in the fridge.
I'm not talking about my milk, dummy. I know you and my son only take powdered milk. So where is it? I can't find it in the cabinet.
What cabinet, Patty? Are you in our house?
Damn, you are so slow, aren't you? Of course I'm at your house. How else would I know that the milk isn't in your cabinet?
Well, I just wasn't expecting you today. Tristan didn't tell me you were coming.
Am I supposed to ask permission before coming to my son's house?
No, it's not that. But a heads up would have been nice. Besides, how do you even get in?
With my key. It's how I always get in. Now, where is the milk?
We ran out of milk, okay? So we're yet to restock on that. Tell me though, what do you mean by always get in?
Seriously? Why are you acting like this is the first time I'm at your house?
Hold on. You've been coming into our house while Tristan and I are at work? Why would you do that?
I don't get this. Can't I come to relax here? Or do I need to fill out paperwork and cut through red tape before I can spend time in my son's house?
That's not what I'm saying, and you know it. It's best to let us know so we can be prepared, that's all. Besides, what if something happens to you while you are alone in the house?
I don't have to explain anything to you. I guess I'll have to take these flakes like that.
Flakes? Why do you need that? You don't even like flakes.
Talking to you is like talking to a rock. Why else do you think I needed the milk? I have actually started taking flakes since the last time I came here and found nothing to eat but flakes. Anyway, since you don't have it, I'll do with something else in the kitchen.
My God, is this why a lot of things have been going missing in my house these past few months? I should have known this when Tristan was not interested in looking for them.
I just help myself to some food when I'm around, as any normal guest would. Why are you making a big deal out of it?
It's not a big deal, but Tristan and I have been having lots of arguments over these missing items. I wanted us to set up a camera, but he refused.
Why would he agree to that? You have been quite rude since we started this chat. Tristan will hear of your nasty behavior.
Christy, why were you rude to my mom?
I was? When?
You even called her a thief. How dare you?
I didn't do that, Tristan. We had some words, that is it. I never insulted her. Why would I do that?
I knew it. You never actually liked my mom in the first place. I shouldn't be surprised by this.
What do you mean?
You've never liked her coming over to our place. It's as if you hate her. And you wonder why I don't tell you these things.
Tristan, she's your mother. I would never stop her from coming to our house. It's just that her visits are not something I look forward to. You know how bossy she can be. The other day, she tried to make me stay home from work just so I could give her a foot massage. Before that, she bought 3 blenders for her friends and charged them to my credit card without even telling me. As if that wasn't enough, she tried to make me deliver them myself to their respective destinations.
Seriously, all you know how to do is complain. My mother loves you, you know that. Why are you being so strung up? Now my mom is home by herself crying because you hurt her. Why don't you ever do as she asks?
You're not even listening to what I'm saying, are you? When it comes to your mother, you never listen to a word I say.
She's my mother, and you're the one trying to come between us.
I'm your wife, and I'm not trying to come between you guys. I'm just saying that from time to time, a heads up would be nice. I don't like being kept in the dark, and I am pretty sure that you wouldn't like it if people spent your money without your permission. Anyway, I'm more careful with my card now, so it won't happen again.
My mother is more important than your petty likes and dislikes. Honestly, I couldn't be bothered.
Yeah, that is obvious now. Can we talk about something else? When will you be coming back home?
I'll be late. Mom left the house a few minutes ago, so I have to go spend some time with her, seeing as someone made her mad for some dumb reason.
Okay, just don't stay out too late.
Whatever. Talk to you later.
Christy, are you busy? I need a favor.
What's up?
My house is getting kind of old, you know?
It is? Tristan and I were there 3 months ago, and it still looks very nice. Everything is in good shape.
Well, almost everyone in the neighborhood is renovating their houses. Compared to theirs, my house looks old and decrepit.
Those people probably have a good reason for renovating their houses. Anyway, you can slap some paint on it and it'll be as good as new.
I don't want to slap some paint on it. I want to renovate it.
Patty, renovation is a big thing and it costs a lot of money. Are you sure about this?
Yeah, that's why I'm here. I need financial assistance for this.
Okay then. Later tonight I'll have a chat with Tristan and we'll see how much we can chip in to support you.
Chip in? What do you mean by that?
I mean that we are happy to support you to the best of our ability. Between the two of us, we can raise at least a quarter of the renovation costs.
A quarter? Christy, I need you to fund the entire renovation.
Me? Where would I see such an amount of money?
Come on, I know you have it. I saw your bank statement. You have nothing less than $100,000 sitting in your account.
My bank statement? How did you even find it? I don't leave such things lying around. Did you go through my things? Why would you do that?
Don't change the subject. You're going to renovate my house for me, and that is final.
Patty, you can't make me do that. You don't even know what the money's for.
All I know is that my house will be renovated. You'll see. I'm done with this conversation.
Patty, come back. Patty.
Christy, what is this I'm hearing from my mom?
What did you hear?
Is it true you have money I don't know about? How do you have over $100,000 and you kept it from me?
Wow. So, Patty told you.
Was she supposed to keep such a thing to herself? Where did that money come from? Did you commit a crime or something?
My God. How can you think such a thing of me? That money belongs to my sister. It's her share of our inheritance and I'm the one holding on to it for her until she comes of age. From there, I pay for her tuition and you know she has a heart condition. Money for her upkeep also comes from there.
Wow.
So you see why the money can't be touched? My sister needs it.
Is this why you refuse to help out my mom when she's in need? You just have to take out only a little. Before the money runs out, we'll return it. Why is that so difficult?
No, I can't do that. From taking only a little, we'll find ourselves taking more and more until the money runs out. You know we won't be able to afford her tuition and medical expenses. So that money is going nowhere.
You're just being stubborn and selfish, you know. My mom is in a state of need and you're the only one that can help her. And yet, you refuse to do so.
Tell me, Tristan, why does she need the renovation anyway? There is nothing wrong with her house. She's only doing it because her neighbors are doing it.
Do you want my mom to be a laughingstock in her neighborhood?
I'm still not touching the money.
You'll be funding the renovation, Christy. If not, be ready to sign divorce papers.
What? Is this a threat?
I just can't be with someone who has no regard for my mom. So you do this or you and I are over.
You're really serious about this?
If you want to stay married to me, you know what to do.
Hey, Christy, love, how are you doing?
I've been holding up. What about you?
Well, I'm covered in dust and debris from head to toe, lol.
Why? Did something happen?
Well, it's the renovation I told you about. My house has been torn down and the contractors are waiting for their deposit before they begin work. So, can you send the money? Let's get the show on the road.
What money?
Are we going through this again? I don't have the time, you dummy.
I have no business with you and your renovation. It's no longer my problem. I can see Tristan is yet to tell you, but we're getting a divorce.
A divorce? Why?
So many obvious reasons. And the fact that I called his bluff.
This doesn't make any sense. You can't divorce him. What about my house? Without the deposit, these guys won't work on it.
That is not my problem, Patty. I didn't tell you to tear down your house. Right from the start, I made it clear I wasn't going to put a penny into the project.
So, what do I do now?
Well, I'll leave that to you and your son to figure out.
Christy, did you have to go and tell my mom about the divorce?
You and I are no longer together. Why are you keeping it from her?
I was giving you time to change your mind.
Change my mind? Why would I want to do that?
See, I didn't mean what I said when I threatened to divorce you. You don't have to do this. You know how these things are. Why would you take it so seriously?
Actually, the threat opened my eyes, and I saw clearly for the first time what you and your mom have been putting me through. I've had to endure so much from the two of you, and it's been draining me. It's clear you both don't value me, and the best option was to leave.
Don't say that. I value you. You know that. Come back home, please. We can talk about this.
There's nothing to talk about, Tristan. You and I are done.
Okay, but can you at least pay for the renovation? It's the least you can do. My mother's already started it. Just fund it so the workers will begin the main work.
And still, it's all about what you can get from me. Just like I told your mother, there's nothing I'll be doing to help you. You both need to figure out this problem for yourself. I'm done. Goodbye, Tristan.
You can't just leave like that. Christy!
The divorce proceedings took about 3 months to be finalized, and after that, I was able to move on with my life. I took good care of my sister and made sure she didn't lack anything that had to do with her education or medical health. Last I heard of my ex, he and his mom were living together, and I wish them the best. I focused only on building myself and growing in my career. There was always so much for me to do that it was a bit difficult for me to socialize. However, 3 years later, I fell in love with a man who loved me to the moon and back. We'll be getting married next month. I'm grateful things worked out for me.
Hey, Lindsay, guess what? What's up? I got my first big paycheck. Oh, yeah? You remember how I finally got my first real job last month, right? Well, I finally got paid, and it feels so good.
Congrats, that's really great.
That's it?
What do you mean?
You're not gonna ask me how much I got.
All right, how much did you get?
Let's just say I got way more than you get at your job. You know where I'm working, right?
Yeah, I know your company's pretty famous. You really talked my ear off about it once you got hired.
Oh, I don't quite remember doing that. Luckily for me, though, I got this amazing job because of how smart I am. Unfortunately, the same can't be said for you.
Yeah, you're a real genius.
You've got to be super jealous.
Oh yeah, totally. I wish I could be super smart like my big sister.
That's what I thought. I mean, I'd be jealous if I were you too. You dropped out of high school and started working. But you're really just scraping by, right? I know your job barely pays you anything.
Yeah, well, I'm not living some super luxurious life or anything, but I'm saving up a lot and I'm living a nice, simple life.
Oh, I find that hard to believe. You're not sending any money back to Mom and Dad, right?
That's because Dad told me I didn't have to.
Of course he's gonna say that. Since I got so much money with this paycheck, I'm going to be a good daughter and send a bunch of money to Mom and Dad.
Oh, well, maybe it's a good idea after all. Do you think I should?
Oh, could you even send them $1? There's no way you can afford to send them anything on the salary you're making.
It was kind of tough at first living on that money and being on my own, but I had a lot of freedom to do what I want. And now I make even more than I did when I started.
So what? How could you be happy as a poor high school dropout?
Considering everything, I'm actually pretty happy. Obviously, I can't work at a big, famous company like you, but I'm doing everything I can to make a living for myself.
That sounds kind of pathetic if you ask me.
I don't think it's pathetic at all.
Oh, I guess I'm being a bit harsh on my little baby sis. I'll take it easier on you from now on.
Thanks, I guess.
Even though you're a dropout, you're really trying hard not to ask for any handouts from Mom and Dad, right? That's so nice of you.
Yeah, I promised myself I'd never ask them for money.
What a mature adult you've become.
It doesn't really feel that way. Well, anyway, I'm a little busy at the moment. Good luck with your job.
Hang on there. I forgot to mention. I'm in charge of a really big project at work right now.
That's great.
I heard from one of my coworkers that there's this really incredible freelancer, right? Apparently she's always super busy because of how good she is at her job. We want to try and contract her to do some work for us. And they put me in charge of making a deal to get her to do some work for our company.
They really did that even though you just started working there?
Of course I won't be totally alone. My coworker is going to be there, but just to watch over me. But I bet the reason they gave it to me is because they really expect big things out of an outstanding worker like me. I bet everyone at the company is super jealous of me already.
It sounds like you have your work cut out for you. Don't let them down.
I don't need you to tell me that. You know me. I've always been the genius of the family.
Sure. You always really studied hard in school. You were even top of your class every year, weren't you? I always looked up to you for that.
Of course you did. My plan is to get my foot in the door with that big-time freelancer. I know she'll really take a liking to me as soon as I get the chance to talk with her. If I do that, then I'll get a promotion for sure. I don't just want to be a normal company grunt that never moves up in the ranks. I've got to climb to the top.
While I'm glad to hear you've set some pretty high goals for yourself, I just hope you don't set your expectations too high.
What are you talking about? You think a brilliant person like me could ever fail?
No, that's not what I mean. I just mean you have to be careful to remember that you're working at a company, not just on your own. You have to treat people right.
I don't remember ever asking a dropout like you for advice. I'm the one who should be giving you all the advice.
All right, well, I won't say anything else then.
Of course you won't. Just sit there and nod your head like a good little girl when I talk to you.
Ha ha ha, okay, got it. Well, anyway, like I said, I'm kind of busy right now. I guess I'll talk to you later.
Why didn't you say anything?
What do you mean?
Why didn't you say that you're the freelancer my company wanted to get a contract with?
Oh, yeah. When you were telling me about that project you were assigned to, I thought maybe it could have been me you were talking about. I didn't know for sure until we actually saw each other in person.
How could you, of all people, be so successful as a freelancer? I have no idea how this could have happened.
I think I mentioned it to you once before.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Well, I did. You probably don't remember because you don't care about anything in my life.
Don't you have any idea how big and famous my company is? We only want to work with the best of the best. They won't just take some bum off the street. Why would they have any interest in you?
Well, thanks for the compliment, I guess. Do you remember our conversation when we had the meeting?
No, not really.
Well, do you at least remember how you acted? Or did you already forget?
I acted normally. What are you talking about? Nothing out of the ordinary for two sisters talking with each other.
We met each other for business, not for fun.
Yeah, well, who cares? I don't work for you. What makes you think you can act so high and mighty all of a sudden? The coworker I was with was furious after the meeting.
Was your coworker mad at me?
Of course he was.
I don't quite think so.
Oh yeah? Why's that?
Well, for starters, you weren't being professional at all. You talked to me like we were at home or something. Not only that, you just assumed that the contract was a done deal.
Well, of course it is. If I'm negotiating with my sister, it's obviously not going to fall through. There's no way you could ever say no to me.
I don't think you understand how busy I am. I really have a lot on my plate right now. So much that I'm constantly turning down work from other companies.
So what?
That means that just because I have an offer from your company doesn't mean I have to take it.
Are you stupid? Are you going to turn down my company's gracious offer for work?
I'm still on the fence about it.
How could you be so dumb to turn down a huge contract from a company like mine? What an obnoxious thing to hear coming out of a high school dropout like you.
I don't think me being a dropout is relevant anymore. We're both working adults now.
It's absolutely relevant. Above anything else, we're sisters.
That's especially irrelevant right now. Also, thinking back on what you said, the reason why we met the other day was so I could hear more about the offer from your company. That kind of presentation you gave was supposed to persuade me to accept the work from your company. But from the way you talked to me, there's no way I would take the offer if it were a normal situation. I walked away not really knowing what the work was going to be like.
All right, so then why not just ask me now?
What?
Why did I need to explain everything to you then? You could have just asked me any time if you wanted to know something. If you didn't understand something, just ask me right now. I'll be nice enough to answer any of your questions.
That's not the point. What I'm saying is that would have been totally unacceptable if we weren't sisters. Your coworker wasn't mad at me. I really think he was mad at you for how badly you treated me.
Absolutely not. You were totally unfriendly and cold towards us. That's why he was mad. I bet he couldn't believe how rude you were to your own family.
Is that what he said?
No, he didn't have to. I'll be meeting with him later today. He'll probably tell me then. But don't worry. I'll make sure to put in the good word with him for you.
What's that supposed to mean?
Right now, he probably doesn't think very highly of you after we met. So like I said, I'll make sure I say you're not always that rude. That way we won't have to retract our generous offer to you. Just leave it to your big sis to clean up the mess you made. You should feel lucky to have such a kind sister like me.
You've really never changed, have you, Katie? For someone as smart as you, I'm sure you really believe you're a genius.
What's that supposed to mean? Is that a compliment or an insult?
I'll just leave it at that. Let me know how it goes after you talk with your coworker. I'm sure he's got a lot to say to you.
Yeah, I bet he does. Make sure you let me know once you've accepted our offer. And when you do, make sure you say how it was all thanks to me. You'd really be helping me climb up the ladder at my company. If we're going to be working together, we have to help each other out, right? What's his problem? I have no idea why he was so pissed at me. How ridiculous is this?
I'm guessing you talked with your coworker?
He said my demeanor isn't professional at all. He said I was being disrespectful towards you. Oh, he must be crazy or something.
Katie, I really want you to think clearly about what he's saying. You can't think of me as your sister. You have to treat me like you would any other client. What would happen if you treated any other client the way you treated me?
What are you talking about? Like I already said, above everything else, we're sisters.
Yeah, but even as sisters, the way you acted was unacceptable. I totally understand why your coworker is mad at you. Even after he said all that to you, you still think you're right?
Well, maybe I shouldn't have been so casual in the way I talked to you, but more important, did you really turn down our offer?
Yeah, I did.
Why? Are you trying to embarrass me?
I don't have to say yes to any work that I don't want, even if we are sisters. To be honest, I still have no idea what the job was going to be like.
I told you to ask me if you didn't know.
That isn't the point. The point was that you were supposed to explain everything when we had the meeting. That's the whole reason why I was there.
All right, but just please hang on. Please come back again and I'll explain everything to you. That would fix this, right?
I really wish I could. I would love to come back and hear what you have to say. But honestly, I have so much on my plate right now. I really don't have the time to come back. Sorry.
Don't think that you could just say sorry. This is really gonna kill me. You should have heard the way my coworker was screaming at me.
He was really that mad?
Yeah, because I told him that since we were sisters, there's no way you would turn us down. I said, leave it to me, I'll take care of everything.
You probably shouldn't have said that. Just because we're related doesn't mean I'll say yes to you. Why would you think that?
Oh, everyone is really mad at me right now. How could this happen to a perfect genius like me? I was valedictorian at college, for crying out loud. Oh, I can't take the feeling of other people being mad at me.
Well, genius or not, at the very least, you need to have some common sense.
What are you talking about? I'm the master of common sense.
I'm not so sure about that. For someone that was put in charge of a project this big, I think it's pretty obvious you should never have treated me the way you did, even if I am your sister. Did you even notice your coworker's reaction when you were talking to me? He was white as a ghost. If you really did have any common sense, you would have realized his reaction and changed your attitude.
I did notice, but that's not why he reacted like that. He was like that because he was shocked at how disrespectful you were being.
You've got to be crazy if you think that's what happened. You should have been paying more attention. Anyone else would have noticed immediately what was really happening.
I really thought that's what was happening. Oh, what's the point of telling me this now?
Now that I think about it, I kind of warned you about the way you were acting. I said, if we're going to do business together, I think it'd be better to treat me like you'd treat any other client, even if we are related. But you just laughed it off, didn't you?
All right, I apologize for the way I treated you. But please, just accept our offer.
I already told you, no. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to keep talking about this with you. I won't bring any of this up again.
I can't believe you. I never thought you could be so cruel to your own sister. Wait a second. Are you doing this because you saw how much I make?
What are you talking about?
Oh, that's why, isn't it? You wanted to bring me down because I make so much more than you.
All right, well, if that's what you think, I have some news for you. I actually make 10 times as much as you.
There's no way in hell you make that much. How could a high school dropout like you be so arrogant?
Go ahead, you can look at my pay stubs. I really think it would be a good lesson for you. You can see how much money a freelancer is capable of making. I'd be happy to teach you all about it.
Who do you think you are? What could an idiot like you possibly teach someone like me? You didn't even make it through high school. You're out of your mind if you think you're better than me.
Is that right? I sure hope your ego doesn't get the best of you like it is right now once you get back to work.
Who are you to talk to me that way? You probably barely make $2,000 a month. You must be stupid if you think you make 10 times what I do.
You're way off. You're missing 2 zeros.
Bullshit. Do you think I'm an idiot? You really think I believe you make $200,000 a month? Are you so stupid that you can't do basic math?
I'm not lying. The most I've made in a month was $200,000. You'll never see that much money in your whole life.
You're being serious.
Yup. That's why I can take or turn down any job I want. Of course, in the past, I started off only making a couple $100 a month. And as you know, I'm not the genius you are. So I really had to pull myself up by my bootstraps and work my butt off. I'm actually really thankful because in a way, you were my motivation to work this hard.
All right, well, if you really mean that, well, why don't you just take the job?
No, I already told you that's not happening. To be honest, it's not that I don't want to work with your company. I really just don't want to work with you.
Are you serious?
Even though I flat out refused the offer from my sister's company, she tried to use her power as my sister to force negotiations to make me accept. I had no choice but to get my parents involved. Of course, they absolutely ripped her apart for the way she was acting. After that, things didn't go so well for her at her company. A year later, she handed in her resignation and changed jobs. She eventually got a job as a telemarketer. I don't think she'll be bothering me again, especially since I've completely cut off all communication with her. I bet despite everything that happened, she still thinks of herself as a genius. But if you ask me, how smart are you if you get totally owned by a high school dropout like me?